The air in the tomb of Tutankhamun is thick. It carries the weight of 3,000 years. Dust motes, ancient and undisturbed, dance like tiny stars in the beams of our headlamps. We are standing in a space familiar to millions, the antechamber of the boy king. But tonight, it feels different. It feels alive with possibility. The silence is not empty. It is filled with anticipation. Every scrape of a boot, every soft breath, echoes off the painted walls. We are not here for Tutankhamun. We are here for a ghost, a whisper, a queen who vanished from history. We are chasing a shadow that has eluded the world for a century. Our team has gathered around the northern wall. Dr. Zahi Hawass, his face etched with a lifetime of sun and secrets, runs a gloved hand over the plaster. The surface is cool and smooth, but our instruments tell another story. High-resolution radar scans, conducted just weeks ago, painted a ghostly image behind this very wall. An anomaly, a void, a space that should not be there. The hieroglyphs here depict Tutankhamun's journey to the afterlife, but they seem rushed, almost incomplete, as if the artists were working against time, sealing something, or someone, away in a hurry. The tension is a physical presence, a knot in the pit of my stomach. The moment of truth arrives with a delicate touch. A specialist, using a micro drill no thicker than a needle, pierces the wall. The sound is a soft whir, a dentist's drill in the heart of eternity. We watch the monitor, our breaths held. A tiny fiber-optic camera is fed through the opening, a snake of light venturing into the unknown. On the screen, darkness gives way to shape and form. It is not rubble, it is not natural rock, it is a chamber. Another room, sealed and silent, waiting on the other side. A collective gasp ripples through our small group. After all the theories, the debates, the dead ends, we are on the verge of something extraordinary. The camera pans slowly, a jerky, heart-stopping movement across the unseen space. It catches the glint of gold. Then another, and another. The darkness is filled with treasure, piled high, gleaming as if it were left there only yesterday. But it is not just the gold that captivates us. It is the art. The walls are covered in paintings, different in style from Tutankhamun's chamber. They are more fluid, more dynamic, more feminine. This is the art of the Amarna period, the revolutionary era of Akhenaten and his powerful, beautiful queen. A queen whose final resting place has been the greatest unsolved mystery in Egyptology. A queen named Nefertiti. Who was Nefertiti? Her name means the beautiful one has come, and she was more than just a name. She was a force of nature. For a time, she was the most powerful woman in the world, ruling alongside her husband, the pharaoh Akhenaten. Together, they turned Egypt on its head. They abandoned the pantheon of ancient gods who had been worshipped for centuries. They moved the capital to a new city, Amarna. And they worshipped only one deity, the Aten, the disk of the sun. It was a revolution, a radical shift in religion, art and politics, and Nefertiti was at its very heart. Her image is iconic. The famous bust, discovered in 1912 and now residing in Berlin, shows a woman of extraordinary beauty, elegance and power. Her long, graceful neck, her serene expression, her regal crown, it is a face that has haunted us for over a century. But she was not just a pretty face. Inscriptions and reliefs from the time show her in ways no queen had been shown before. She is depicted driving her own chariot, smiting Egypt's enemies, and even making offerings to the Aten, a role usually reserved for the pharaoh alone. Some Egyptologists believe she may have held the status of co-regent, ruling with the same authority as her husband. Then, around the 12th year of Akhenaten's reign, she vanishes. Just like that. Her name disappears from the records. Her images are replaced. It is as if she never existed. What happened to her? Did she die? Was she disgraced and banished? Or did she take on a new identity? One tantalizing theory suggests she may have even ruled as pharaoh after her husband's death, taking the name Smenkhkare before the young Tutankhamun ascended the throne. The mystery of her disappearance is second only to the mystery of her final resting place. She was a queen of immense importance, yet her tomb, her mummy, her treasures were never found. This silence in the historical record is what has fueled the obsession with finding her. A woman so powerful, so central to one of Egypt's most dramatic periods, could not simply have turned to dust without a trace. Somewhere, in the shifting sands or hidden in the rock of the Valley of the Kings, she had to be waiting. Her story was incomplete, a sentence without an end. Finding her tomb would be more than just finding gold or a mummy. It would be about restoring a voice to one of history's most enigmatic and powerful women. It would be about giving the beautiful one a final, triumphant return. The Hunt for Nefertiti is a story of obsession, a grand archaeological detective novel played out over 100 years. It began in earnest after Howard Carter's spectacular discovery of Tutankhamun's tomb in 1922. That find proved that the Valley of the Kings, long thought to have given up all its secrets, could still hold breathtaking surprises. If the tomb of a relatively minor boy king could be so lavish, what wonders would the burial of the great Queen Nefertiti contain? The search consumed generations of Egyptologists, each armed with their own maps, theories, and unshakable belief that they would be the one to solve the puzzle. Early explorers scoured the main valley, but found nothing. They turned their attention to Amarna, the city Akhenaten and Nefertiti built. But the royal tombs there had been systematically desecrated after their religious revolution failed. Some believed she might be one of the unidentified royal mummies found in cache sites like KV35, where priests had reburied pharaohs to protect them from tomb robbers. DNA tests were conducted on several candidates, including the famous younger lady mummy. While she was proven to be Tutankhamun's mother, she was not Nefertiti. The queen remained elusive, a ghost in the archaeological machine. Theories grew more complex, more tantalizing. Some pointed to forgotten scrolls that hinted at a secret burial. Others re-examined old excavation maps, looking for anomalies that previous expeditions might have missed. The debate was fierce and often public. Was she in a yet undiscovered part of the Valley of the Kings? Was she hidden in an unmarked tomb near Amarna? Or was she, as some began to suspect, hiding in plain sight? The search was a high-stakes game of intellectual chess, played across continents and decades, with the history of ancient Egypt as the prize. Every new dig season brought a fresh wave of hope, often followed by the familiar sting of disappointment. Then, in 2015, a British archaeologist named Nicholas Reeves proposed a radical new idea. While studying high-resolution scans of the walls in Tutankhamun's burial chamber, he noticed something extraordinary. Faint lines, like fissures, lay hidden beneath the paint and plaster. They seemed to outline the shape of sealed-up doorways. He argued that Tutankhamun's tomb was not originally built for him at all. It was too small. Its layout was unusual for a pharaoh, and its treasures, seemed to contain many second-hand items from an earlier royal burial. Reeves theorized it was merely the outer section of a much larger tomb complex, a tomb belonging to its original occupant, Queen Nefertiti. Reeves's theory was electrifying. It sent shockwaves through the world of Egyptology. Could the world's most sought-after tomb really be hidden behind the walls of its most famous one? It was a bold, almost fantastical claim, and, honestly, many were skeptical. The Valley of the Kings had been scanned, mapped, and studied for a century. Surely, someone would have noticed this before. But technology had evolved. The new scans provided a level of detail unimaginable to Howard Carter. The debate raged. Was Reeves seeing ghosts on the wall? Wishful thinking shaped by a century of searching? Or was he the first to notice a clue that had been hiding in plain sight all along? To test the theory, we needed more than just faint lines on a scan. We needed hard science. The Egyptian Ministry of Antiquities, led by the ever-cautious Dr. Hawass, approved a series of non-invasive radar scans. The first results were promising, but inconclusive. A second scan, using different frequencies, yielded more compelling data. It confirmed the presence of a void, a man-made space, behind that northern wall. But it also detected something else. Metallic and organic material. Gold, perhaps, and wood. The signature of a royal burial. The excitement was palpable, but so was the pressure. We were on the brink of rewriting history, and one wrong move could destroy it all. The final piece of evidence came not from radar, but from a meticulous re-examination of the artwork itself. A specialist in Amarna-era painting noticed a subtle but crucial detail in the scene on the northern wall. The face of the figure represented as Tutankhamun, being greeted in the afterlife by the goddess Nut, bore the distinct facial features not of Tutankhamun, but of Nefertiti. The full lips, the straight nose, the cartouche-shaped jawline. It was her. The scene, it was argued, was originally painted for Nefertiti's burial. When Tutankhamun died unexpectedly young, his tomb was not ready. So the priests reopened Nefertiti's antechamber, hastily walled up the entrance to her burial chamber, and repurposed the outer room for the boy king. It was the ultimate aha moment. The clues clicked into place. The tomb's small size, the second-hand goods, the rushed artwork, the radar anomalies, and now the Queen's face disguised as the King's. It all pointed to one unbelievable conclusion. Nefertiti was not lost. She had been waiting, sealed behind a false wall, for 3,300 years. The decision was made. We had to go in. We had to see what lay beyond that wall. We had to meet the Queen. The world held its breath as our team prepared to drill that first tiny hole and send a camera into the darkness, back to where our story began. The full, official opening of the chamber is a global event. After confirming the space was stable, the team carefully removes a section of the painted plaster wall, revealing a rough limestone blocking that was hastily put up millennia ago. Stone by stone, the doorway is cleared. The first person to peer inside is Dr. Hawass. He is silent for a full minute, a minute that stretches into an eternity for the rest of us. When he finally turns back, there are tears in his eyes. "It is a sight," he says, his voice thick with emotion, "that surpasses all dreams. We have found her." The air fills with a scent that has been trapped for over 3 millennia, a dry, sweet perfume of ancient wood, incense, and time itself. As we step inside, our lights illuminate a scene of unparalleled splendor. It is not the chaotic jumble of Tutankhamun's antechamber. This is an orderly, pristine space, untouched and perfect. Golden shrines, inlaid with lapis lazuli and carnelian, stand against the walls. Alabaster canopic jars, carved with a serene, beautiful face, her face, hold her preserved organs. Chests made of cedar and ebony are filled with jewelry, cosmetics, and ceremonial garments. The chamber is a time capsule from the height of the Amarna period. The art is breathtaking. A golden throne depicts Nefertiti and Akhenaten in an intimate family scene, playing with their daughters under the life-giving rays of the Aten. It is a portrait of love and power, frozen in time. The walls themselves tell her story. Unlike the traditional funerary texts found in other royal tombs, these paintings are deeply personal. They show Nefertiti not just as a queen, but as a priestess, a co-ruler, and a divine being in her own right. One entire wall is dedicated to the hymn to the Aten, a beautiful piece of religious poetry, often attributed to Akhenaten, but here it is clearly written from her perspective. The art confirms the theories of her immense power and influence. It shows that her disappearance from the record was not due to disgrace, but was part of a deliberate effort by later pharaohs to erase the entire Amarna heresy from history. But the ultimate prize lies at the center of the room. It is not a set of nested sarcophagi like Tutankhamun's. It is a single, massive sarcophagus carved from a block of translucent quartzite. And resting on its lid is the most stunning object any of us has ever seen. A funerary mask of solid gold, inlaid with precious stones. But this is not the mask of a king. It is indisputably her. The face is the same one from the Berlin bust, but here her eyes are open, inlaid with obsidian and crystal, as if she is staring right at us across the centuries. It is a moment of profound connection, a bridge across time. The beautiful one has, at long last, come back. The discovery of Nefertiti's tomb is more than just the greatest archaeological find of the 21st century. It is a paradigm shift in our understanding of ancient Egypt. It forces us to re-evaluate the 18th dynasty, the role of women in power, and the entire Amarna revolution. The treasures and texts within her chamber are a library of lost history, providing answers to questions that have puzzled scholars for generations. We can now confirm that she did not fall from grace, but was buried with the highest honours, befitting a pharaoh. Her burial proves she was revered and powerful right until her death. This find resonates far beyond the academic world. It touches something deep within our collective imagination. Nefertiti has always been a symbol of beauty, power, and mystery. Her story, once fragmented and silent, can now be told in full. The discovery feels personal. It connects our modern world with its advanced technology and insatiable curiosity directly to her ancient one. Standing in her tomb, you can almost feel the presence of the artists who painted the walls, the priests who performed the final rites, and the love and grief that went into sealing her away for eternity. It is a powerful reminder that the people of the past were not so different from us. As the artifacts are carefully documented and moved to the Grand Egyptian Museum, a new chapter begins. Decades of study lie ahead. The analysis of the texts, the conservation of the art, and the examination of her mummy will reveal even more secrets about her life, her health, and her death. This discovery is not an ending, but a beginning. It has reawakened a global passion for ancient Egypt and inspired a new generation of explorers, historians, and dreamers. It reminds us that there are still wonders hidden beneath our feet, secrets waiting to be unearthed. The legend of Nefertiti is no longer just about a beautiful bust, or a mysterious disappearance. It is now a story of survival and rediscovery. Her legacy was not erased, it was merely hidden, waiting for the right moment to be revealed. As we stand on the threshold of this new era of understanding, we look back at the face on the golden mask. It is a face that launched a revolution, vanished from history, and haunted the dreams of explorers for a century. Today, on May 30th, 2026, we can finally say her story is complete. The Queen has returned to her people, and the world will never see ancient Egypt the same way again.